Good morning, everybody. Welcome to week number 6, module 6 of EDU 600. I hope things are going well for you so far in this class. If not, please reach out to me, and I am more than happy to help with any kind of concept that you might be struggling with, or any issues you may be having with the materials, the assignments, whatever it might be. If you need any additional help, please contact me. I'm here to help. So, module number 6, we're still studying quantitative research. Last week we started the quantitative research. As you know, we did not have a discussion forum in week number 5, and I'll get to that. And I worked it in to the week 6 materials, and I streamlined it somewhat from what we originally started with, and I'll talk about that in a minute. So this week we are looking at visual displays, but also you're going to find out that our study of quantitative research, we keep on reinforcing certain ideas, and it could be the variables, it could be the descriptive statistics, which really, descriptive statistics describes the data that we have. It could be the average age in our class. We have 17 or 18 students, and in our class, we could go through, we could add everything up, we could divide it, we could come up with the average, we could come up with the mean. We're describing the data in our class. We are not inferring from that data to any other population. That's where we get into a different type of data descriptions. We will infer from that data in the future. That's where we get into sampling and other ideas, but we're not going to be looking at that. So this week, if you haven't, I'd like you to take a look at Focus on Descriptive Statistics. If you did not watch last week's videos last week, please take a look at those. I'd also like you to focus in and read these 2 chapters, chapter 6 and 7. Once again, you might have seen some of these. This one has to do with the population and the sample and the population. Once again, it's produced by our textbook author, Dr. Jeff Beaudry, and maybe some of you know him, maybe some of you don't. But if you're ever in the Glickman Library, there's a chance that he is working in one of the faculty study rooms on the 2nd floor. So if you're ever in there midday, chances are Jeff is in there working. You could always knock on the door and say that you are in my class, EDU 600. Data sets. We are looking at data sets. Now, data sets and also visual displays of data, you might look at that and say, I don't even know what that means. Well, if you've ever looked at a graph, if you've inserted in a PowerPoint presentation a pie chart, a bar graph, something like that, that is a visual representation of the data. In a lot of websites that you can find actually the visual. You can find the pie chart or the bar graph. You can click on that and it'll take you to all of the data behind that. So that's what, when we talk about data displays, some people say visual data displays. That's what we're going to be looking at this point. So I have 2 videos. The first one is on visual displays. Second one, so we have part 1 and part 2, including how to create a graph. Now, you might want to come back to this section for the visual displays assignment that we have coming up, but at this point, just kind of bookmark where it is, because you're going to come back to that. So what I'd like you to do, just play around with some of these. View any one of these data sets. It could be, you click on that, it will take you to the state of Maine DHHS, and it has to do with coronavirus. I don't want you to do much with this. You can pick out any of these, and we're going to use one of these for your visual displays of data assignment, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. But feel free to explore any of those, and I'll show you where that fits in. I'd like you to participate in this discussion post, which has to do with one of these data sets. I'd like you to select one example of a data report, data representation, meaning if you go to the State of Maine website on COVID, you might click on a bar chart that shows COVID cases by county. So I say, please summarize the data source or data source, and then what variables are measured in the display. So in that case, they might have cases by sex. So we're going to have male and female. It could be by ages. So really what I'm looking for, summarize the data source. And if you want, you could put in a link to that, but the data source could be the State of Maine's COVID website and give me the link. And then what are the variables being measured? And like I said, taking a look at COVID, it could be by county, ages, number of cases by ages, and sex. So we're going to have, the age, who got it, and so whatever you might find, I want you to keep this relatively simple. The visual display assignment that we have coming up in a couple of weeks builds upon what you're doing this week, but it takes it a little further. I'm asking you for a little more information in that. Then I'd like you to participate in the week 5 discussion. Now, I totally streamlined this discussion from last week. And I say, we jumped into the world of quantitative research. Please post your initial thoughts about this type of research, including similarities and differences between quantitative and qualitative research. And I can't stress this enough. There's no need for you to write a book about these questions. I really just wanted to circle back so everybody had the opportunity to at least talk about what they read last week. A paragraph or two for this at most. So we have 2. We have the discussion post on the visual displays of data, and we also have the discussion post from last week. No need, no need to do tremendous amount with either one of these. Everybody is busy. There's a lot of materials this week, so I'd rather you be succinct, say what you need, and then move on. Okay, have some other materials. I have something on bar charts, pie charts, histograms. Introduction to statistics. We'll be coming back to this. We have statistics where we describe the data and others that we infer. This is kind of the classic when you see the sample size of 500 and the population is 1.2 million. This is where we're talking about where we infer. We don't just describe, we're inferring from the sample. What else? Here's discussion post 5, discussion post 6. So that is it for the week. If you have any questions, please let me know. Now I'm just going to switch gears for a second, and I just want to show you one more thing. So as you can see on the screen, these are our assignments that we have in the class. And just to check in, we have the article capture, which was due last week, and I provided audio feedback for everyone on that. If you have any questions, you want to talk that over, please let me know. We have the quantitative or qualitative critique. That is due today, and that's due tonight. If you're running into problems with that, you need a day or so extra, please shoot me an email. I'm certainly here to help, and I'm sure we can work something out. On March 6th, which is 2 weeks from today, we have a visual display of data assignment. In that assignment, we are going to be using similar sources to what we're going to be looking at this week as far as visual displays, but I will explain more on that next week. So that is about where we're at. I mentioned in the article capture 1 that the second part of the article capture, where you actually bring your total up to 6, happens in article capture 2, and that's on March 13th. So if you find yourself this week, you're off from school, you want to find 3 additional articles, you can get right on that, but that doesn't come up until the middle of March. So that's plenty for right now. I want to wish you the best this week. If you need any help, please reach out to me at any time. You can call me, you can text me, we can set up a Zoom, whatever works best for you. So have a great week, and I'll see everybody online.